unless you've been living under a rock. And by the way, you do need to be following me. So hold on, let me make sure y'all get that right there. You go follow me on all of them, on all the socials. But we do have potentially our new Mr. Reed Richards. And yeah, I don't think anyone saw this coming. But it looks like it is none other than Pedro Pascal. Yes, that is correct. Pedro Pascal reportedly is now cast as your new Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. It says here that Marvel is homing in on a Mr. Fantastic. Pedro Pascal is in talks to star as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, for the Fantastic Four. Now, it does say here though that sources say scheduling is a factor in whether the deal will actually work out, and the current status of the talks is unclear. Marvel had no comment. So, in other words, that means that maybe he's not going to make it. He might not. There have been a lot of other talks around. We've heard Adam Driver. We've heard who else was it? Jake Gyllenhaal, maybe. I don't know. But now they saying Pedro Pascal. Now let me just say, now I can't speak for other people. I don't know how others feel about this, but I'm gonna be honest. I like Pedro Pascal a lot. I really like this guy as an actor. Man, when I saw this man in Game of Thrones, in Dorne, the Prince of Dorne, I was like, oh, that's my guy right there. When I saw this dude in Narcos, oh, he was cooking. My man was doing his thing in The Mandalorian, of course. He was doing his thing in The Last of Us. But y'all, I don't know. I cannot say that this is the way. When I sat here and heard about Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, I'm like, why? Like, what? Why? Because on one end, yes, no one's questioning his acting ability, but if we're being very honest here, he's not the first look that you think of for Reed Richards. Now, let me just say, comics can change, comics can be different, characters, yes. I personally just believe as long as the ethnicity is not tied to the character, you can change it up if you want to. That's fine. However, and I don't want to shame I don't want to shame my man here. He's a little older. I would have assumed that if you wanted to get a Fantastic Four team together, you'd want to get people a little bit younger. Just don't you don't want them to last? But like, even if you go with because here's the thing, even though, yes, I know, let's go to it. I know Reed look a little older, right? Don't let the gray temples fool you. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the gray temples really came from the cosmic rays and stuff, and it just kind of made him a little bit older, but he was a younger guy, 30s, something like that. But one of the things that I'm kind of looking forward to with Reed is the fact that, this is a character that we're going to have for a long time. How long is Pedro going to want to do this role? Now, let me also mention that rumors were that in the first Avengers Fantastic Four movie, Reed Richards is not even going to be the lead. It's actually going to be Sue Storm. Okay. And we also heard that it was Vanessa Kirby that was cast as Sue Storm. Now, if that's true, I want y'all to look at Vanessa Kirby. Look at Vanessa Kirby. It's a nice looking lady, right? And again, no shade. These don't match to me. He looked like he could be her maybe uncle. Y'all see this together? I don't. I'm just saying I don't see this pairing here. I don't see it. Um My other bigger concern, so forget the age. Let's throw age out the window. Let's say visuals, let's throw that out the window because a lot of times you have actors jump into roles that we don't see it, but then when they show up, we're like, okay, it works. Shout out to John Krasinski, by the way. Would have been the easiest slam dunk. But I think people forget that John might just not be interested. So let's also kind of keep that in mind that even though we would love for John Krasinski to just come back and redeem that horrible arc that they did in Doctor Strange 2, he might just not be interested. And that's fine. That's fine. This man, Pedro Pascal, is in like 50 different things. Y'all know how much like he's in everything. So here's what he's currently doing right now. It says that he's got to do The Last of Us season 2. He's going to be in Gladiator 2. And then he got another movie called Weapons. And then now you want him to also be in Fantastic Four? Why are y'all even talking to him? This man is busy. Now, again, according to the report, it said sources say scheduling is a factor. I don't even know why y'all approached him. Because right now, again, not trying to shade this man, but I feel like this is a little bit on the lazy side of casting. Why? Because it almost feels like typecasting. We've already seen Pedro Pascal play this role because supposedly this Fantastic Four would be in another dimension or whatever, obviously a different dimension. So he's not in the 616. He's already got his family, so I'm assuming his kids are already born. I've already seen Pedro Pascal play that father role. We've seen it in Last of Us. We've seen it in Mandalorian. I don't need to see it again in Fantastic Four. And again, no shade to him. Are there no other actors out there? Because right now it really feels as though Hollywood is like, yo, we have a role, insert Pedro Pascal here. Don't matter what it is, just put Pedro, when in doubt, cast Pedro Pascal. I want the brother to flourish. I want him to cash them checks. Man, do your thing. But damn, as a consumer, I know that there are other roles out there. I know that there are other people out there that'd be great for this stuff. And y'all couldn't find nobody? My other concern with this, outside of the age thing, here's the thing. It's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. And of course, it's fiction. Marvel can change whatever they want. But I've told y'all whenever one of the most important things when it comes to casting whoever you want as Reed Richards, you cast Reed Richards, you're also casting Doctor Doom because those two are linked. Those two, they're college buddies, rivals, they grew up together, etc. So you're not about to have some old, looking Reed Richards and some young Doctor Doom. So if you're casting an older Reed, that means that you also have to cast an older Doctor Doom. And I already have my reservations about Doctor Doom because not only does that have to be a fantastic actor, but that's a character that hides behind his mask a lot. What well-known actor do you know is going to be okay with keeping a mask on his face 90% of a movie? You got Pedro Pascal, and I don't know if the reports are true or not. Apparently, he didn't want to have his helmet on all the time, even though it's literally what his character is supposed to do. So you have oversaturation as an issue. You have potential age as an issue. Again, can Marvel make it work? Yes. It's the multiverse, it's fiction. It's whatever they want it to be. But would this be a home run? I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I don't know. By the way, when it comes to Vanessa Kirby, it was funny because she was asked whether she was going to play Sue Storm. It says here Vanessa Kirby on if she's playing Sue Storm in Fantastic Four. She says, I don't know. You'll have to ask them, Marvel. I would be very honored to join. Isn't that cute? She's so cute. She ain't been trained yet. She ain't gone through the Marvel training yet, ma'am. And I know I think she's English or whatever. She don't know how this game get played. If somebody, first of all, she fell for a trap question and she didn't realize that was a trap question. You're supposed to just leave it as, if it happens, that'd be great. I'd be honored to join. You said you don't know, you'll have to ask them. That sounds like you already signed the line, but you don't want to talk because it would violate your contract. Welcome to the MCU, Vanessa Kirby. Welcome. But now we can get into the juicy rumor part of all of this. And we're going to go to this is going to be Jeff Snyder. Like I said, he is an insider who has dropped some pretty reliable stuff before. And yes, he also commented on how Pedro's got a lot. He got the Gladiator sequel, Last of Us, this Weapons movie or whatever. And he also shared here that Vanessa Kirby is going to play Sue Storm, and she's going to be the lead of the film. We got Joseph Quinn. He was the guy Eddie from Stranger Things. He's going to be playing Johnny Storm. Moss Backrack cousin. We don't know who he's going to play, but the thought is that he will be playing the Thing. Now, here's the interesting part. Now, we will take this with a grain of salt, but here's the interesting part about this Fantastic Four stuff that he's hearing. He's saying the feeling at Marvel was that they needed a big star for Mr. Fantastic. I don't like that. It says here that they went out to Jake Gyllenhaal. They went out for Jake Gyllenhaal, and they went out for Adam Driver. They also went for Emma Stone, but she's not playing Sue Storm. And Kevin Feige is trying to contain the costs. He's trying to make sure them costs don't go too high. And I agree with that. Gyllenhaal, we'll get to that in a second. But let me just say this. If it is true that Marvel was worried and that they needed a big name for Mr. Fantastic, you could not be more wrong. Because at the end of the day, Marvel has proven that you don't need big name actors to fulfill great roles. You can take actors that have talent that might not be household names, and the role will make them even better. Mr. Fantastic is a character that has enough in it that can make any good actor a new household name. Y'all wasn't checking for Tom Hiddleston before, but now you know who he is because of the journey that he took with Loki. Robert Downey Jr., he was doing a lot of supporting roles in Hollywood where he wasn't Mr. A-list star until he became Iron Man. No one was checking for any of the Chris Hemsworths or Chris Evans or, Tom Hollands or anything until they stepped into those roles that were bigger than them and they took it up a notch. So if the fact that Kevin Feige, if the report is true that he is worried and they need a big name, I would implore Kevin Feige that you could not be more wrong in this case. Black Adam is your best case scenario of showing that people don't care about big names. The Rock is one of the literal biggest names in Hollywood, and he couldn't make Black Adam go past 400 million in the box office. They number one on iTunes, but that's about it. So again, big names are not going to do it. You can take somebody that is a relative unknown. I've been saying for the longest, get Penn Badgley from you. That guy right there is perfect to play the role of Reed Richards. But the roles are going to define the success of the characters, the stories, the development. Those things will take care of themselves. Oh, but there was another factor here. I told you, so in this report, it said that Jake Gyllenhaal was considered. Again, this is a different universe. So what if he was Mysterio? It's a different universe. They could change it up. It said here that Jake Gyllenhaal's fee was a little too high. But besides that, the Snyder guy was told that Foggy, or I guess Marvel, was afraid that it was way too white. That the whole cast that they have for Fantastic Four was too white, and Reed Richards' character would be the one that they wanted to diversify the cast. I'm just a little curious here. I'm not opposed to diversity at all, obviously. Like, I have no problem with that. And yes, Vanessa Kirby, she's listen, she's as white as they come. No problem with that. White, blonde, pretty, fine. That's fine. Fine. Joseph Quinn, yes, another white guy. Moss Baumbach, yes, he's another white guy. Cousin, another white guy. I get it. So you said all three of y'all way too white. And we can't have another white guy like Jake Gyllenhaal because it's just too much. But y'all said this was the color that you needed? Pedro Pascal is the color that you needed to diversify the cast? Like culturally? Because I mean, Pedro kind of looks white passing. What color are you talking about? I mean, I know my man is from Chile, or he's Chilean. Okay, that's cool. He don't look like a brown skinned man to me. I'm just saying. Maybe he tans well. I don't understand the concern that if the current cast is too white, the next pivot would be Pedro Pascal. Now, if you wanted to say Oscar Isaac, okay. Now, I'm not saying Oscar is the most brown skinned guy, but Oscar he got a little color. He got a little bit, I could see he's kind of ethnically ambiguous, I think, for Hollywood. They'd be like, oh yeah, he's Egyptian. Nah, he's Hispanic. Nah, he's Middle Eastern. Nah, you could put Oscar Isaac in whatever role, ethnic wise. Pedro, I'm sorry. There are Latinos that do check off as white. And that's okay. There's nothing not against that. I'm just saying, if you said that this was too white, but then you go with Pedro Pascal, I don't see how that absolves what your apprehension was, Marvel. Again, this is just reported. We don't know if it's true or not. This is just what they've heard. Because I'm sitting here thinking, if you say, okay, the Fantastic Four are too white, and you want to mix it up and get some diversity, okay, well then get someone darker. I mean, that would make sense with Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror supposedly is maybe a descendant of Reed Richards. So that would make sense. So anyway, I'm taking this report with a grain of salt, but I'm just saying, if that's true, I don't understand that pivot. I don't get that. And then we have the last rumor here, which if you're going to have Fantastic Four, we already know that you're going to have Doctor Doom eventually, but they also are talking about Galactus. And the Galactus that you're gonna have here that they talking about is gonna be none other than Javier Bardem. And he is right now being eyed to play Galactus. Um, I will just say that I don't care because I don't care for Galactus. I think he'd be great in the role. I don't think he'd be a problem. Um, I just don't care about Galactus because Galactus, for those of you that don't know, he's this giant guy that literally eats planets. I've always found Galactus to be boring in the comics. I've always found him to be not that interesting. I love Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is great. I'll take that. But Galactus, I don't care. I don't care. Um, but yeah, so that's it. I did see some other rumors online um about who they were looking at for Doctor Doom. Because like I said, if you cast Reed Richards, you gotta get um uh Doctor Doom to be his counterpart. They were talking about, at least this is the rumor, Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen makes sense. Like when the MCU started, I remember Mads Mikkelsen was he was cast as that random villain in Doctor Strange, and I was like, why is this man not Doctor Doom? Like this is literally what he was born to play. Y'all know Mads. Come on now. Y'all know Mads. Okay? Like this dude should be Doctor Doom. Like this is what he does. He could play that role like in his sleep, But anyway, that's just a loose rumor as well. Nothing really to back that up. But y'all let me know, what do you think about Pedro Pascal as potentially, not confirmed, but potentially your new Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards? Um, what do you think about the idea that Fantastic Four was too white? Did they resolve it with potentially getting Pedro Pascal? What do you think about the idea of Javier Bardem playing Galactus and maybe Mads Mikkelsen playing Doctor Doom? Whatever you think, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.